We are staying on Dr.
Yes,
Bawumia because
on Dr. Bawumia, I would say to Ghanaians that leadership is too important to be left to leaders alone. Our leaders need help because John Maxwell said that it's always lonely at the top. And 80% of leadership is followership. So it's just 20% that leads us. Now, the challenge is that if you look at the figures that you gave, you cannot compare 41.7% to 49%.
Yeah.
There's a vast difference. Even I've seen students who come to me and say, Prof, I needed just one, just 1 point to get an A. But you have professors who will put their hand into their pocket and then open, the pocket and say, where is the one? I can't find any one. There's no one anywhere because the one is a percentage of something. Now, if you look at political polls, CNN, BBC, they will do it and say that the margin of error, because anytime we sample population, there's a margin of error. We are 4 here sitting. If we pick 2 people to talk to, then we are going to have margin of error because the other 2 were not talked to. But always statistically, you have to get plus or minus 3. Now, if you look at 49% that Nanado had continuously, plus or minus 3, plus 3 is 47 plus 3 is 50%. That means it is going to a rerun. And remember, Nanado had a rerun with Prof. Mills.
Yeah, 2008.
And Prof. Mills in 2008 beat Nanado only by 40,000 votes, 0.04%. Yeah. So you can't compare that performance to what Bawumia had. So he's trying hard to justify some figures. Sometimes you can massage the figures, but it doesn't click. And that is what you should know. We both talk about marketability, the market, and then the product. Yes, I think that I will not say that he's a bad product for a good market. I don't want to say that because I want to be cautious. I believe because of how hard I've worked in life, you have to respect people's integrity and what they, so I don't like people who attack others' personality. Let's talk about the issues and the policies. Yeah. But there's something called in politics likability. And it seems that his likability has dwindled so low that people don't like him because the failure of the party, it was a political party failure. And he was a pivotal part of that political party at that time. So now it's like you are going back to chess game, using the same person, and what help is that going to bring? But there was also another issue of metacognition, thinking the thought. The way he said some things, and I've heard him saying that if he knew, he wouldn't have said some of the things that he said. The same thing applies to Kenneth Japan. Some of the things that he said in the media, insulting women and all those things, if he knew he was going to contest, he wouldn't have. But Brian and Dr. Duchum were measured. They knew all along that they were going to contest. So they were very careful in whatever they say. So if you go back and Google them, social media does not forget. If you go back and Google them, it's like they've sealed most of the things that they did when they were young. And now you can't find anything apart from, the sins that you talked about. Yeah. But I think their sins cannot be forgiven. Or maybe Jesus time you tell them that your sins are forgiven, but go and sin no more. That is beyond my paycheck. And moving forward, we have to know that Bawumia is going to be difficult for him to win. I believe that even Ato Forson, when he contests Bawumia, he will win. Because if you compare Ato Forson's economy now with when Bawumia was, the leader of the economic management team, and what happened there, and the cedi and the dollar and the inflation rate, definitely on that level of economics, even Ato Forson will beat Bawumia. So MPP have a lot of work to do, and they will do everything to bring Bawumia, but I am not buying into the fact that he will win in 2028. And that sway into NDC to the candidate that NDC bring. I pray that NDC will have that succession plan to get somebody, to be groomed so that that person will take over. But I've also seen a lot of, dynamics being played here. And I like the words of Chairman General Enoch Opoku saying that anybody who bring their head that they are going to run will be a distraction. Let's all support. So that is collective success, which is more important. The group success is more important than the individual success. And that is the approach that NDC have taken. That let's all work together collectively to build a system for John Mahama so that when John Mahama is successful, anybody that NDC bring, it will be easy for that person to win 2028. Okay. And I think that's a good strategy.
Let's do some